Welcome to London, a city of history, beauty, and of course, terrible weather. But we only have 2 days to discover the iconic city, so no matter the weather, we will be making our way through all of the classic sites while still leaving enough time to soak up the vibes of this energetic city and take a couple of unique tours. If you only have a couple of days to explore London, this is the itinerary you need. And of course, along the way, we'll be sharing links and prices for everything. Morning, governors! We have arrived in London and we just have the next 2 days here. So we're starting day one off in the Notting Hill neighborhood, which has obviously become incredibly famous from the movie. We'll also be sharing helpful tips in this vlog, like how much we pay for things along the way as well, so you can have an idea of what to budget for your trip, and also things like how to get around anything that we come across. On Saturdays, the popular Portobello Market is open with over 200 stalls, but you can catch a smaller scale market on the same road open every day. Or simply grab a coffee like we did and wander around enjoying the quirky vibe. We are making our way, of course, to the Buckingham Palace, the most iconic thing that you have to see here when you're in London. But on the way, we've actually made a little bit of a detour to come and see Kensington Palace. Now, this is where the Prince and Princess of Wales actually live, which, if you guys don't know, that's actually Prince William and Kate Middleton. So this is their actual home, which is pretty crazy. And you can actually go inside as well. We're not going to be going inside that one today because we do have limited time here in London, so we had to choose which places to go. And Kensington Palace is actually in a huge public park called Kensington Gardens, and we're basically walking through. Once you walk through this park, then you'll come out at Buckingham Palace. Kensington Palace has been the home to world-famous royals. It's the birthplace of the iconic Queen Victoria in 1837, and Princess Diana lived and raised Princes William and Harry within these walls. You can tour Kensington Palace Wednesday to Sunday, and tickets cost £17 with a free audio guide that brings 3 centuries of royal stories to life. That was so cool. We're just walking through Hyde Park now, and I think what we just saw might have been the mounted guards of Buckingham Palace actually training or running drills. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say they're new guards because they didn't look very comfortable on those horses. But if you are a local here from London and you know what that was all about, please comment below and let us, because we're kind of just guessing. We're walking through Hyde Park, but actually you're allowed to ride horses just like as like a leisure activity here in Hyde Park, which is very, very cool. But we have to rush now because we actually didn't have time to stop and watch that as we're on our way to what I think is going to be one of the coolest tours that we do in the next 2 days. Oh my god! So we are doing a double-decker bus tour of London, but with a little bit of a twist. We're actually going to be having a high tea on the bus as we go around and see the sights of London. And because it's such a chilly, cold day, I feel like it's the perfect way to see London today.
Wow, that is so amazing. Oh, it's so cute. That is so cool. That is so cute.
It's very exciting. The bus is one of the classic old double-decker red buses. We came up and they've got a fully set high tea table. It's even got those tiered plates, which is so cute. We're going to enjoy a high tea, but we're also going to see London go past. So it's basically all the highlights, you know. It's Buckingham Palace, Royal Albert Hall, the Marble Arch, Trafalgar Square, the Big Ben, which is very exciting. Max and I haven't seen it yet. So yeah, this should be fun. It's a 90-minute tour, so it's not too long, but I think it's so cozy in here. It's so nice. And they have a whole menu of different teas, but they also do coffee and hot chocolate and like juices, or you can even order alcohol on here as well. I'll have a little glass of Prosecco if that's what you're after, but I think we're sticking to the classic high tea. is perfect because it's super cold outside, so we get to see London cozy whilst enjoying a cup of tea and some yummy food. It's honestly the perfect tour.
This is a really quirky but such cool experience.
It just combines the best of everything.
Yeah.
We just got served some scones, and they also brought a little tub of strawberry jam and a little clotted cream to have with them. Have you ever had scones and cream and jam?
No. This is yummy. This is so good.
It's the best thing so far. We just got our first glimpse of the Big Ben. Can you see him? There it is.
It's there.
What's so cool about seeing the Big Ben is that actually it has been covered in scaffolding for like ever because they've been doing so many restorations. And I think it was just last year that they took the scaffolding down. So it's only been since this year that you've actually been able to see the Big Ben. There's so much to look at this moment of the tour. I feel like the bus is just driving past so many buildings where I'm like whiplash looking each side. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
That was the cheesiest, most fun experience ever to see London like that. They played Christmas music the whole time. The afternoon tea was delicious and the bus is just absolutely adorable. So we'll drop a link below if you guys are using this video as a guide and you also want to do that same tour. We'll put it in the description so you can book it as well. It's the Bridget's Bakery afternoon tea bus tour. 10 out of 10 recommend. It was so much fun. And honestly, it's value for money because that 1 hour and a half tour, you get to see so much of London. Plus you get a beautiful little assortment of goodies for only £39. Honestly, it feels like pretty good value.
Good deal, yeah.
So you want to know something really embarrassing? You know when you're watching movies that are filmed in London, like James Bond or like, I don't know, whatever other movie is filmed in London, and they have that shot along the River Thames of that really grand, big building that's actually Parliament building.
House.
I thought that was Buckingham Palace.
No.
I thought Buckingham Palace was on the river. And I didn't know that it was here. But now I know. Now, once I started researching like where we're going to go in London, I was like, oh.
Right here, guys, all the hot tips of London, all the quirks come to us. We know all there is to know about it.
You know all the facts.
Buckingham Palace is the official London residence of the British monarchy since 1837. If you want to explore the opulent palace, it's actually open to the public for 2 months in summer from July to September, showcasing 19 lavishly decorated rooms and priceless artwork.
So even though our bus tour kind of came past here and we got to glimpse the Big Ben and we got to glimpse Westminster Abbey and Buckingham Palace, the Big Ben is so beautiful.
So goldy, it's really beautiful.
Oh my gosh. And we got the perfect amount of blue sky and clouds in the background right now. It's so beautiful. So this is what I thought was Buckingham Palace. This view here.
Look at this view!
Oh my gosh. This is incredible. Tower Bridge.
Wow.
So cool. Oh, that's London Bridge then, right there.
Yeah.
Wow, this is amazing.
Whoa.
We've come up to the Sky Garden to get a view of London for sunset. And the view is actually really gorgeous.
Wow.
Like, Sky Garden is just near the Thames, so you can see all the way up from Tower Bridge down to the London Eye, basically. So I've been saying the Thames River this whole time, but Max said he thought it was called the Thames River. And now we don't know what's correct. So you'll have to let us know in the comments if you're from London. How do you actually pronounce it? Because am I walking around sounding like an idiot this whole time? One of us is.
Wow, what a view now.
We actually booked one of the last entrance slots because we wanted to come up here and be here while sunset. Sky Garden is 35 floors up and it has an incredible view over London, and it is 100% free, which we love, but you do have to book your ticket on their website, and apparently you have to book it a couple weeks in advance because it can actually get really busy and time slots just run out. So if you are looking to come up for sunset, which I highly recommend, make sure you book in advance. And also enough time, because we showed up at our booking time, which was 3:15. We still had to wait like 20 to 25 minutes before we actually got to come in. So luckily we booked at 3:15 for a 4:10 sunset, so we still have plenty of time. And the views up here, honestly, I do recommend it. I read online that it gets really crowded up here and it's not really that nice, but maybe at this time of the year it's not as busy.
If you happen to be in London in December, you can catch one of the many Christmas markets spread around the city. They're not quite as amazing as Europe's Christmas markets, but you can still get a warm mulled wine and enjoy the decorations.
Cheers!
Your first view line.
That's so good.
But we eventually ended the day with a classic pub dinner of fish and chips and a pie in one of London's many cozy pubs.
So one of the easiest way to get around London is on the tube, but just so you guys know, London is not at all a budget destination, and although we try to travel usually on a pretty good budget, it's just not possible here. Just riding the tube is usually around £3 to £4, which for us is basically double the price. So make sure that you are budgeting actually getting around the city to get to each of the locations, because it's actually going to cost you a lot more than you realize.
Pressing right now.
Max is making me wear my phone strap so that when I'm on my phone, I have it hooked onto a strap so that if anyone tries to snatch it. I basically feel like I'm a child getting monitored by their parents who can't look after their things. So we're starting today with a trip to London Tower Bridge, which is not London Bridge. It is the beautiful bridge that you can see in London. London Bridge is actually just right next door, but so this one was actually built because the old London Bridge took over an hour to cross because of the massive population increase in London in the 19th century. So they built this one. I don't know why they made it so beautiful, but I'm glad that they did. And you can actually come up the towers and you can walk across these gangways. That's a shipping term. I don't know what you call it on a bridge, but like basically the top section that connects the two towers. And there's even a glass floor over there, so we'll be able to see the bridge from bird's eye view, which is really cool. We actually entered the Tower Bridge using the Go City Pass. So we bought the Go City Passes, which give you access to like various activities around London, so you don't have to pay extra for them. So we'll leave a link in the description below. Depending on what activities you actually choose to do, they can save you a lot of money because you get a discounted rate on the City Passes. So we'll put a link in the description below if you want to check them out, but we're going to be using them for most of the things that we do today actually. You know what's so crazy? So we can see the Thames River below, and it's very much like brown water. Like it doesn't look clean, but most of England's drinking water comes from the Thames. Isn't that crazy?
Solid. Okay. Sorry.
So the bridge was originally brown painted, but they actually repainted it this gorgeous blue, which was such a good decision, London. Well done. The blue is absolutely stunning. Our next stop right next to Tower Bridge is the Tower of London. So we obviously have to explore this one, and it's included in our Go City Pass as well. So we didn't have to line up to buy a ticket. We just walked straight in. They scanned our QR code, which was fantastic.
Step through the gates of the Tower of London and enter 9 centuries of British history. Built by William the Conqueror in 1066, this fortress has been a palace, an armory, a treasury, a mint, a zoo, and a notorious prison, holding many executions throughout the centuries. People still believe the ghosts of figures like Anne Boleyn and Lady Grey haunt the complex. Today, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site that houses the crown jewels. There are 12 acres to explore, and entrance is included with the Go City Pass, or tickets cost £35 plus £5 for an audio guide.
And there's a couple of traditions that they actually still hold up today that I found really interesting. One of them was that they still have ravens here, nesting ravens, like you know how they used to send messages with ravens in medieval times, but they still have them here because there's a superstition that was announced that said if ravens ever leave the Tower of London, the tower will collapse and destruction will befall the country. So they still keep 8 ravens here to make sure that doesn't happen. And they have the original guardsmen here as well. They're called the yeoman wards, and they were actually the original wardens of the king, so they were like the king's kind of like personal security guards. But they have the nickname Beef Eater. So you might have heard of Beef Eater gin, you might have just heard of the term Beef Eater before, and that's where it comes from. Now the reason they got that nickname is because apparently the yeoman wards kind of had big heads and thought they were a little bit more important than they actually were, and so people started calling them Beef Eaters to kind of bring them back down to earth, because they were allowed to eat the king's leftover. And beef at the time was the most expensive meat, so they got to eat the king's leftover beef, and they became beef eaters. You can't come to London and not do a cruise on the River Thames.
Thames.
I still don't know how to pronounce it.
Someone here.
Oh yeah, this is a perfect place to find out how it's pronounced. Is it pronounced Thames or Thames? How do you pronounce it?
Thames,
We were
yeah.
both wrong.
The River Thames, yeah.
Okay, cool.
We just got to see the Tower Bridge actually open and close from the boat as we're departing, which is just such perfect timing. So basically these city cruises, they run from Greenwich Pier all the way down to Westminster Pier, and there's actually 4 stops along the way. And they kind of stop at convenient places for you to see the sights as well. Also, you just get to see a view of London from the River Thames, is how it's pronounced. We asked one of the guys on the boat to finally clear it up. So Thames is how it's pronounced. So I was almost right. Like I was so close. I was closer than you. You were like, it's Thames. They also have a cafe on board, so if you wanted to combine this experience with like a bit of a sit down, a coffee, a relax, that's the perfect way to get from like one end of the city to the other. And the pass actually gives you 24 hours on these boats, so you can kind of hop on and off as much as you wish for 24 hours.
Wow, that is so cool.
London Bridge is falling down. So cute.
Wow.
This is so nice.
Yeah.
Catching a ferry is actually just fun on its own. I would definitely say if you have the time, that you should plan for like 4 or 5 days in London to really be able to not only see the highlights like we're doing, but then to also just go and explore so many of the like unique neighborhoods that London has. Like places we would have loved to go on would have been Camden or like Piccadilly Circus or Hackney. There's so many cool neighborhoods that we just don't have time to explore. But if you do only have 2 days, I do feel like it's enough to get like a good sense of London and to see those like iconic London highlights. So it's been perfect for a first time experience, and we've just left the other things for us to do the next time we come back to London.
Okay, if you're a museum person, you're going to lose your mind in London, and most are completely free. We chose to visit the British Museum in Bloomsbury first, with millions of ancient artifacts, many of which have a controversial history. You got the Rosetta Stone, which literally unlocked ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. There are mummies still wrapped in linen. The Parthenon marbles from ancient Greece. We paid for a tour guide who we'll link below and who made the experience so much more enjoyable. Then we popped over to the Natural History Museum in South Kensington. Apart from being one of the most beautiful buildings in London, you're immediately greeted by Hope, a massive blue whale skeleton hanging in the entrance. You can spend hours exploring dinosaurs, extinct animals, and natural history. Both museums are genuinely world class, and there are many others to choose from if they're not to your taste.
So in London, there are a ton of different food markets you can choose to eat at, and which ones are the best, honestly, we don't know because we haven't been to them all. There were a couple that stood out, but we decided to come to this one, which is Mercato Mayfair, purely because of the uniqueness of it. Basically, it's a food court that is inside a converted church, and they still have all of the interior architecture of the church, which is absolutely stunning. And in the altar of the church is a bar, which is a very unique way to spend your time at church. But we've come upstairs to the upper level of the church, and we're actually having Indian for dinner because we haven't had Indian yet in London. And London's, or the UK's national dish, I think, is tikka masala, which is hilarious. So we obviously have to have Indian whilst we're here as well. So this is a great way to combine trying Indian food in London, but also eating at one of their unique markets. The other market I really wanted to try was Borough Market. It's probably the most famous and popular one. You probably have heard of it before. And it is the oldest market in London, which is why I wanted to go there. Apparently the food is amazing, but it also has really mixed reviews because it's just so well known that so many tourists go there, and it gets really packed and busy and is kind of a bit chaotic. So yeah, I think you either love it or hate it, but I think this is a very unique one that we're not going to be able to go anywhere else in the world, so we chose here. I've never had this curry before. This one is called Rajasthani and it's lamb. Apparently it's a bit spicy, so first time trying. Wow, that's really good. It's not too spicy. Oh my god, there's so much flavor in there. My lamb just like literally melted in my mouth. Oh my gosh. Max and I are a fan of Indian food anyway, but this is actually really good Indian. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed spending 2 days in London with us and that this has been a very informative and valuable video for you guys. If you have any other questions that we didn't answer in the video, then please leave a comment. We'd be happy to answer anything we can. And if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe. We're about to board our flight to our next country where we'll be filming a guide, a winter wonderland in Finland. So make sure you subscribe for that video and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!